This is the Leadway Wealth Builders Podcast, episode 128, and I'm going to be breaking down my future trip here coming up soon, travel hacking 4 nights in Austin, Texas for only $22. Yes, $22 for 4 nights, flights, hotels, and a rental car for $22 total. So if you haven't listened to this podcast before, this is the Leadway Wealth Builders Podcast, where I, Chris Rickenbaugh, am documenting my journey in real estate and business, and also talking a little bit about travel hacking and personal finance. You can find me on social media at leadway.wealth on Instagram and TikTok, where I post daily about what I'm doing, what I'm learning in real estate, travel hacking, what business, whatever I'm doing. And you can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. I really appreciate you listening. Please go leave me a review, ask me questions, whatever you want to hear on this, I'd be happy to answer, but I am just documenting my journey, and I really wanted to break down, what I'm going to be doing here, because I am heading to Texas here in the next almost 1 month for the Better Life REI Summit down in Austin, and I wanted to document how I'm going to get there. So if you've listened to this in the past, last year I documented two of my different trips. One was to Hawaii, the other one was to Miami. Hawaii was the really big one, where we used points and miles to be able to go to Hawaii for only $66. So that's a really fun episode to go back and listen to, because, everybody thinks they have to save up this ton of money. It's so expensive to go there, but if you save the thousands of dollars that you would normally spend on flights, hotels, and anything else, you can figure that out on points and miles, and it is way cheaper, allowing you to have a way better time when you're actually at that destination. So, as I said, I'm going to make this quick. I want to break down the flights, the hotel, and the rental car, the points to the flights. So, if you haven't heard of travel hacking before, you're using credit card signups and building on the points that you normally spend, and you're able to build up those points to then redeem them for travel credits or travel rewards. And having the points and the miles is actually worth way more than actual dollars, so you get a lot more value by using them on travel than if you would just refund them to your account or refund expenses. So this is how we do it. This is how we're planning on doing a lot of traveling in the upcoming, year or so. We're planning out a bigger trip for later this year, and then in February next year, we're planning on going back to Hawaii for about 2 weeks. So here is the breakdown in Texas. So we're going to be traveling to Texas, me and my wife, on Southwest, and those tickets on points are about 16,000 points a ticket, and that translates to $11.20 a flight. So for both of us, that's going to be a total of $22.40 and 28,000 points total. So what if we were not using points? That'd be the cheapest ticket. So Southwest has their, low fare, and it's super cheap. It's only $135 a ticket if you're not using points for that certain time. But if you go anywhere other than that specific flight, then you're easily into the 210s, 220s per ticket. So round trip, that's going to be over $400, probably closer to $500 for 2 people. And, that's a good chunk of change for, somebody my age just coming out of college or a couple years out, just trying to save money. So being able to do this and spend the money you're already spending, earn points, and be able to go travel, that's the main takeaway. So for the flights, we're using Southwest, and that is the total of $22.40 by using 16,000 points per flight. So let's talk about the hotel. So we have a couple of different co-branded cards, and one of my favorites here is Hyatt because it links to Chase, so we get a ton of Chase points by using them on the renovations for our flips. Just because we figured it out, and it's like, all right, well, this is the way we have to go. So we do get rewarded in that way. So Hyatt for 4 total nights, $0. And here's how. So I have, for having my card for over a year, I get 1 night free. And then, so basically, I'm really only paying for 3 nights. So the points per night is 15,000 points per night. So that's not anything outrageous. It's actually pretty low, but I'm getting to stay near the conference center that they're going to be having the conference at. Super excited to be super close to that. But the dollars per night, if you were to not use points, is $170 a night. So you'd have to be multiplying that by 4 because you don't get the free night card. And that total, if you're using your own cash, is going to be $680 for that entire hotel stay, plus the rates and fees or whatever. But due to me having the 1 free night and then using points, it's only 45,000 points a night that I've built up over time using the card as I would normally use it. So basically getting a free 4-night hotel stay in a really cool city. So hotel, $0, the Hyatt Place in Austin, I think it's what it's called. Either way, jumping on over here to the rental cars. So I will be flying into Dallas, but my wife isn't going to be coming with me to the conference. So I'll be driving down there from Dallas to Austin. And the rental car, I just picked out the first basic one that I saw, nothing fancy, nothing cool. So the points for that is going to be 29,500 points. So a little bit steep through the Amex portal, but if I was using my own money, it'd be over $200. So $206.50 was the exact one for the example I'm saying. So, that is a little bit of a chunk of change. So that's, trying to be able to save all of that money. You're spending well over $8,000 here. Let's total it up. So 476.50 plus the 680. Yeah, you're right over that $1,000 mark. It's probably right around $1,100. So, for being able to do this for this whole trip for a total of $22.40 compared to the $1,100 if you use your own cash, I would rather be using points and be able to figure it out in that way. So, super pumped for the Better Life REI Summit. This is how I'm getting to the conference. Super excited to be able to meet a bunch of other real estate investors there, listen to the speakers. My mentor, Cam, he's going to be speaking. Super excited because this is the first one that I've really done. I went to a small one here in Charlotte, but it was more like a day and it was more of a salesy thing. But super excited to be able to, go and learn from other real estate investors, strategies, and just meet other people who are doing it. So here's how I'm getting to that conference, and I'll definitely document what I'm learning, who I'm meeting, different strategies and what takeaways I'm getting from the conference. But as for this podcast, thank you for tuning in again, and I'll make sure to document, other travel hacking things that we're doing and leading up to the big trip that we're doing later this year. So as for episode 128, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.